Hello YouTube and welcome to part 14 of the Dark Souls 2 challenge run extinction playthrough. I am not committed on what I'm calling this thing anymore. I'm going to despawn everything in Dark Souls that can within reason. I have two things to point out at the start of this video. Three things actually. Two things that can't be despawned and why we think that is, and then one thing that I just missed and have to go back for. 138 deaths worldwide, which is just this playthrough. I died twice farming this morning. Just getting lazy, being stupid. So, we need to go to Kingsgate to show the first. And I've already showed in Twitch chat this, so ads in progress, they aren't missing anything. First enemy that does not despawn is the statues. Switch to two-handed. And the reason we believe these don't despawn is because they drop Titanite slabs. The plus 10 reinforcement material for common weapons. They might be the only enemy to do so, and if so, it makes sense for them not to ever drop those. So that you always have a constant supply of Titanite slabs, so you can try weapons instead of just however many exist throughout the game. Number 2. This is just, I forgot this enemy existed. I probably saw him at some point walking down here, but I forgot about him during farming, so start off, we have to farm that guy out of existence. That's 2, by the way. And then third off, and this is quick conjecture we just came to with Twitch chat, are these 2 mannequins don't despawn, and the best assumption for why is because you can't pull any other enemies to this spirit switch. And the spirit switch is needed for progression. You cannot go to the Mirror Knight until you solve that puzzle. So that's just softlock prevention. We gotta despawn that spirit, and then we can move forward to the Shrine of Amana. I was hoping to go straight into the shrine, but nope, forgotten enemy. And if I had gone the other way up the ladder, this enemy would never have been despawned. Never would have noticed him. Until like a wrap-up video where I would go around. I'm probably going to do one lap of the game with butterfly gear and cast light or a torch. I got 9 hours on the torch. I could just walk around with the torch and butterfly gear, checking for invisible enemies. It's just us and this one dude who dies in a single poke. I should be using Halberd. That water bottle has a weird taste. Probably leftover flavoring from lunch. And it's just water making me taste it. But certainly took me by surprise. Okay, so that man one-handed heavy attack, maybe? I'm trying to keep the chime out to speed things up slightly. Let's try poking him with one-handed heavy and see if that works. Yep, that works. So this morning I spent a lot of time doing paperwork. And also, for some reason, Iron Chef showed up on my recommended. And I went, there's no way this is actually on YouTube. So I followed it back to the YouTube channel. And no, just the production company that owns the rights to Iron Chef, I guess, has just put it on YouTube. So I was listening to Iron Chef. Not Iron Chef America, but late 90s Iron Chef. It's listed as season 1, but as far as I can gather from YouTube, it is not season 1, because the first episode of that season is Masahari Morimoto's first episode as Iron Chef, as Iron Chef Japanese 3. So definitely not season 1. It's a very, very weird dubbing. It very much feels like, the Godzilla movies in terms of its dubbing. Or, you know, bad kung fu films. Can this man go away? I'm done with his nonsense. I could theoretically burn through all of my Crimson Waters and save a step here. Drink a Crimson Water to restore spell use as I walk up the stairs. Oh, cool. He's gone. The bad man can't come out of the wall anymore. He certainly wasn't hurting us. Okay, it's water temple time. Did that? You'll see weird things underneath there. I don't know. I try to switch back to the 3 minutes of ads once every hour. But it doesn't look like it took. So we'll find out if it did later. It says it took on my end for what little that's worth. I'm expecting the mage to walk up behind me and just take me out. But he doesn't seem to care. That was a lot. Twinkling Titanite, Archdrake Helm, Archdrake Mace. Okay, I see some upgrades in our future. It was a pain to set it back the way I wanted to when they changed settings for everyone instead of having people opt in if they wanted it or not. Okay. Well, the man I knocked off a cliff seemed to have dropped some loot, but you know, it's in the sky, so that doesn't exactly help. Sky loot. Can you just jump up here? Maybe a little bit easier for me. Nope. Guess not. You hit like a truck. No thank you, sir. You guys heard that spell go off, right?
We knew you were coming. And stopped singing. We are Milfinito. We are here to sing to those bound by death and dark. We will sing here forever. As we always have, from long, long ago. We know nothing of the world outside. And why should we? For we will never leave. Do you seek King Vendrick? But what is a king, after all? We know nothing of the world outside. For we will never leave here. When we sing, the little ones dance. The little ones grant comfort to those who bear death and dark. This is what we were taught. Is there anything wrong? Perhaps this is when we sing, this.
Well, you sing for the dead, but who sings for you? I'm curious what implications that has. It's something I've never once considered. So far, the worst thing about this area is going to be tracking down all of the enemies hiding in the water. Maybe killing them got rid of the butterflies. Fireflies? Whatever it was that was keeping these guys docile. Ow. I don't recall. Okay. Oh yeah, it's Wednesday. I'm supposed to work 7 to 3:30 on Wednesdays. Okay, no. I know that in some areas there are pathways that lead all the way against the cliff face. Okay. It's the bug guys from the gutter. I should probably be wearing a knuckle bracer ring, but I will deal with my problems later. How close is the next bonfire? How stacked are these things? Okay, there's the next bonfire. This area is rough. Homing soul darts. Cyclopses. Green sentinels. This area has it all. Oh yeah, also the soul darts do a lot of damage. Hey, thanks, Green Sentinel. Oh, and you're stronger than the ones in Castle Drawing Leg, because you take 5 hits instead of 3. Cool. I don't know why I didn't swing twice there. So there is a little entourage around this bonfire. I think this is also the area I was talking about. So let's go deal with this sorceress. Suddenly got a friend in the backfield. Okay, that was fun. Yep, knew that was coming. I had a dude behind me, and I had arrows coming at me. Yeah. So, this area is just awful. I think that what I normally do for dealing with the sorceresses is I just launch arrows across the map. Maybe with the hawk ring, maybe without the hawk ring. I'll have to find out. And just be done with the issue. But everything is a slog. It's a slow walk around the map. And, as we established, there is no... Yeah, so killing the singing person made all these enemies more aggressive. More aggressive, maybe is the wrong word. Well, that one's definitely more aggressive, so maybe it's the correct word. Less noticeable, for sure. They don't have little butterflies above them, keeping them at bay. Oh well, what is done cannot be undone. I believe that is what the bonfire aesthetic says. She doesn't get a little tombstone. These guys really want you to use bleed weapons. Okay. And there's nobody around the back side of the house. No. Okay. Just making notes for forward progress. I think I'm gonna want passive regeneration more than extra defense. So I'm not super worried about getting hit here. And it's such a slow walk between enemies that when I do get hit, I'll get most of that health back. Unless, of course, the game decides to do that thing where it just aims off into Canada for an attack. Those are my favorite. It's a mace, not an axe, but close enough. I thought I was still in one-handed mode is what happened there. With one-handed being a long-range stab was a good response to the bug dude, and then I wasn't one-handed. Okay. Dark Clutch Ring isn't needed at the moment because we need the Hawk Ring. Oh, what? The fact that isn't a Dark Souls hitbox situation is amazing. Oh, I disagree with getting hit by that, but whatever. Okay, so that's still a 2-hit, even taking off my dark damage ring. Is this still a 1-hit though? Yes. Okay. So that will probably see more use. Hello, Green Sentinel? Come on. Come on. Come on, old knight. I'm surprised I got all those dodges off. That should have hit me. Is that a Dragon Rider over there? Looks like it's a Dragon Rider. Not a Durgan. Yep, that is Dragon Rider. So in Dark Souls 1, Sorry, Dark Souls 2, the original. There's nothing to tell you to go over that way to where those vines are. So in Scholar of the First Sin, they put a dragon rider in front of it, and I just forgot. But that dragon rider is your hint that there's something over there. And boy, is there something over there. Yeah, pretty much. It is the directional go this way enemy. The water was too deep, I couldn't dodge roll. Come check this place out. It has danger. Hey, these guys can still one-hit you, so... But apparently... Oh. I was gonna say, apparently this walkway is too small for him. No, there was just a dude. He has more HP than his friends, just by being in virtue of later in the game. I don't know if the one in front of Aldia's Keep that we killed a long time ago has more HP or less HP than him, though. Because Aldia's Keep is an endgame level. The endgame level. Wow, you threw that stick with gusto. You got it all the way over here. It's Aldia's Keep and then Dragon Airy. And that's it. That's the end of the game. I got bad news, friend. You're on a small path with a lot of cover. See you later. You're not a mimic, right? Sunlight Blade. I can use that. Sunlight. Reinforces weapon in other hand with sunlight. A form of lightning. Yeah, sure, Dark Souls, whatever you say. Sunlight, lightning, same thing. I think... Oh, we can walk fast now. I think Dragon Rider is a one-off. I think once you kill him, he stays dead. So I'm going to try and pull him with poison arrows. That man is hauling. He flying. He got places to be. Ooh, you got a lot of health. Ooh, you deal a lot of damage. Hmm. Did it say how many votes Jim got today? Because he needs 212. He got 200 in the first vote. So did he pick up any? Or did he stay the same? 199. He lost one guy. I would have killed him if not for that, little punch I did to his back. Representative Davies got 212. Doesn't that mean he won majority? It's locked. You get the key from Vendrick. I don't remember if it's from killing Vendrick or from Vendrick's past or if it's just on the ground and next to Vendrick. But Vendrick's set is behind that door. And you need Vendrick's set and to beat all 3 DLCs to make the penultimate hat in this game. Because we're still in the era of Team Fortress 2, everything's about hats. That's not a boss fog wall, that's just a fog wall. I think that skull and pile of bones I just picked up from is supposed to be one of the singers. So it seems all the singers were connected to one being. There's that way over there. You need 217 to win. Oh, you blocked that. So we do live in a world where it's not going to happen, but we do live in a world where Representative Jeffries would be Speaker over a Republican-controlled House. Whoa! Oh, they dropped their stick. Okay. Hey, who wants to fight Big McLarge, but you can't actually dodge him because water mechanics? He is poison at the very least. There's a hole in front of me somewhere, and I'm trying my best to find it. Okay, cool. If I run out of the cave, Big McLarge gives up and goes away. So I can just refresh my poison. Three. Okay. So poison, and then hit him 3 times. The Singer's Dress and Life Ring +2. Yeah, I mean, we were working together back in 2015 when I thought there was a very real potential that if Trump won the 2016 election, it could lead to a fracturing of the Republican Party into 2 separate parties. Here we are, almost a decade later. I'm still wrong. Or, you know, maybe I was just wrong on the timing. Oh. Great. Ah, that was super delayed hit registration. I don't know if you caught that. That I was done the swing and then both of those men took a hit. I feel like alluring skulls placed around the map as just items on the ground to pick up are a big old middle finger to the player. Being tricked by an alluring skull. Well, McCarthy's selling his soul is how he got voted out. Part of McCarthy selling his soul was establishing the clause that the ousting vote can be initiated by a single member of Congress. Oh, great. These guys are corrosive. We're gonna fire off a few arrows just to clear this area out, and then we have to homeward out because I am out of stuff. Yeah, he's just the beetle in charge of all the rest of them. Normally I poison him, but apparently that's not useful because he dies in 4 arrows anyway. This is one section that normal players probably end up despawning just because they are on top of a bonfire. Hey, the singing person's back, so the butterflies are back. We'll leave them alive for a little bit. Those butterflies do help. Oh, good. You died. I was reading, and I don't know how true this is, but I'm going to espouse it anyway, that the 2 countries being targeted for the $1 fee to access Twitter beginning on Tuesday are also 2 of the countries with the lowest penetration of Twitter users. So it seems like a really weird pairing. Let's use the knuckle bracing ring for the first half of this area. Yeah. People aren't really using Twitter, so let's charge them money to use Twitter. What? What sort of stupid play is that? Also a good question, is it $1 local or $1 US? Because $1 US is not $1 New Zealand, and definitely not $1 Philippines. I would have to look into it, but I feel like New Zealand has a stronger currency than the United States for some reason. Do. Oh no, $1 US is almost $2 New Zealand, $1.70. The euro is stronger than the dollar, that I knew. Yeah, there are a few countries dragging down the euro, which is why it's not that much stronger than the dollar. Counterpoint, there are a few states dragging down the dollar. $1 is a lot of pesos, though. Philippine pesos. Ooh, hey. That second swing connected enough to stagger him, but not enough to kill him. Some level of caution is needed. Was not exercised, but is needed. The question becomes, how far I'm not gonna be able to reach the boss, even with the knuckle bracer ring. The boss is just too far away. case you're wondering what I mean by too far away, the boss is on the other side. Oh man, I keep biting my tongue. The boss is on the other side of that gauntlet where we teleported out because my gear broke. If I moved... Even moving the bonfire up 1 would drastically help. What it... Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm going to prioritize. I'm gonna clear out these enemies around this bonfire, and then, teleport out. I don't know if it's the right choice, but it feels correct. I am wearing... Yeah, okay. With these guys dropping Twinkling, I do want item discovery up a lot. One, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Did not rest the bonfire. Okay, gonna have to eat a homeward bone, but that's fine. That's... If I ever want to restock, then that's 600 souls. But, on the flip side, as soon as we clear Aldia's Keep, which has one of my least favorite bosses in the base game, that is unlimited homewards, and I no longer need the spell for homeward. Just a couple of dudes taking a nap in a pile. This is also a lot of souls. These guys being worth 300 souls a pop. Oh yeah, because your phone cable is dumb. It's two USB-Cs instead of being a USB to USB-C. Slightly more specialized cable is in fact more annoying. Drop. Another staff. Homeward out of here. Okay. The good news is we haven't died, which means everyone is on the exact same cycle. So as soon as the despawn happens, it'll delete everything through the first bonfire. So the second we open that door and that dude's not there, we can just run to the bonfire. That was generous. Okay, they're dropping the full-size ones. Okay, it's a lot. That'll be a lot to give to the twins when I have it. Well, once we get to 200,000, we should probably go level up. That'll be about 3 levels. That tiny bit of water I was standing in was too deep. And the reason we died there is because I had said earlier all of these enemies were on the same cycle. And the game took offense to that. And what I mean by the water was too deep, if the water is too deep, you can't dodge roll. Yeah, it started off with the weird swing that really only showed up in Old Iron Keep, and now it's here, where the swing just kind of sometimes goes in a weird, not related direction when you are locked on. And these enemies have the same shared trait as the Elan Knights that I think is the root cause of that issue. These guys come running in from the outfield to hit you, just like Elan Knight do. And Elan Knight were the enemy that was causing the issue before. So I think it is something with that running in from a distance that is causing the weird tracking. I have no clue. But as you just saw there, it should have been a very straightforward fight, taking on 2 of them, when 3 of them was not an issue. I'm also debating... Oh, hiccups, please go away. I'm debating skipping a day on uploads. Just to give me a little bit more leeway. Because as it currently stands, the way I do my uploads is... There goes the stick flying. I render out the video the night of the stream. And then I have to get up at 7 in the morning to upload the video to YouTube and hope nothing goes wrong with the upload and processing so it's ready in time for 10 o'clock. but if I push the video back a day, that gives me a buffer to restart the upload. So they're always Monday through Friday, and there's an extra day of buffer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I need to delay it one day somewhere to fix the issue. One. We're gonna count how many spawns this guy has left real quick. Yeah, but you also cut down all of your video stuff into a bunch of parts. 2. Forgot to rest again. 3. The higher this number goes, the sadder I get. Five. Okay. So 6 more returns because they're off by 1 cycle. Oh, good. Oh, great. Oh, grand. From the second bonfire, I should easily be able to push the boss, but it's just... From the first bonfire, it's too far. I could try going through... No, one way of proof of concept is. Ba-da-dum-bum-bum-bum-bum. Could try going through with the Black Knight's halberd. But it deals fire damage, and we're sort of standing in water. And that swing goes over their head. There's a lot to not like about this. Okay, that's better. Okay, so after this loop, we will try to push for the boss using a combination of the Black Knight halberd and the bow. So I have my claymore for the boss. And the boss I'm not super worried about, because the boss is not difficult, but it is real annoying. Might have to go back to two-handing for the actual archdrakes. While one-handing is great for the little guys, this weapon in general, I gotta get a feel on these guys for. Currently, rated as not great, but also I just don't have a feel for it. How much twinkling do I have? 6. This weapon is +2, so it needs 3, 7, 12. I could upgrade it, but I can't upgrade it fully. And as we learned from the black bow, upgrading can go a long way. The black bow gained, like, what? 5 times damage from being upgraded? That was a big whiff, and that big whiff just drew my attention to something very important. Dragon Rider is still over there. I have to despawn Dragon Rider. And if that ain't one for the cringe comp, I don't know what is. Okay, homeward out of here. 2 thought processes. First one, I'm gonna go back to Majula and upgrade my stick.
You've been a long way. Well, I've only one thing to provide, and we both know what that is.
You now have bleed and poison stones in your repertoire. Not what I wanted.
interest.
Well, it's an upgrade. Also wants twinkling. Titanite chunks that I don't have. I switched over to these from the Jester gloves. But I don't think there was a reason to. I'm actually gonna check real quick on the wiki. Dark Souls 2 wiki. Equipment. Armor. Good lord, how far do I need to scroll to find? Okay, there's the Jester set. Jester set and Seldor set. Jester's gloves. Seldor's gloves. Gloves give 10% on Seldor. Gives 10%. Okay. So they both give 10%. And the Jester set has a higher scaling. Okay. I'm gonna leave the wiki open in the background though. Right click, mute tab. Okay. Where are my Jester's gloves? +7. You know, we're slowly finding some defense. We're learning. Okay, shard is at maximum. I mean, flask is at maximum. Oh, we're one level away from getting splintering lightning. Tune spells. Can be used once. Okay, never mind. I was like, that could be useful. Add some lightning damage to my spear. But no. It was not useful. Black Knight Halberd. This weapon can attack from behind a shield. Cannot be buffed with oozes and resins. Can be buffed with spells and miracles. Takes Twinkling Titanite. Wild. The page is edited to say this deals magic damage for some reason. Okay. I was just confirming here. You either don't infuse it at all and use the Ring of Blades, which is what I'm currently using, or you infuse it with fire and don't use the Ring of Blades because you lose a bunch of damage. Okay. And I feel like infusing it with fire and then poking enemies in the water would actually exacerbate the issue I'm having. Maybe it's time to take a different weapon out. We have so many. I don't think any of these short guys. Could break out the Black Scorpion Stinger and see how that does. I mean, at that point, I could just use Ricards. Could go back to using axes. I saw this recommended. Same moveset. But no fire damage. Okay. Okay, so I would need to upgrade this. What is this upgrade on? Goes to plus 10, so that is just standard. And at plus 10, this thing does slap. Conveniently enough, this person in the comment section on the Macedon Halberd uses Shrine of Amana, where we are currently, to test durability on weapons. Wild. Doesn't burn through stamina as quickly as the other one, getting 5 hits off before you're out of stamina. I am wearing the Ring of Blades. Might need to try infusing this up, not infusing, reinforcing this up a little bit and seeing how it does. Because at plus 10, this thing has A scaling and like 400 damage. So this thing apparently hits like a truck at fully infused, fully reinforced. There was apparently a patch, and someone was asking if this is still true, and I don't... No one ever responded to them, so I can't check. Where you would do lightning infusion with high int and faith, 40 on each, at plus 10, and this thing would just hit like a truck. It's the exact same animation speed as the Black Knights. problem is, once you're in close like I keep getting, you're not getting proper damage. The second hit gets proper damage because the second hit's a spear stab. But the first hit, proper damage is from spacing. I was about to switch weapons and that dude just came flying in. But we lost a lot of durability. We have a second one, so that's kind of less of an issue. But I also want to try the Black Stinger. Not a lot of durability on the Stinger. Would definitely need to break out the Knuckle Bracer. But 2 quick pokes and the enemies are dead. So it might be worth checking Ricard's and seeing how that does. Oh, Ricard's can do 1 quick stab. Okay. I was trying to see if I could put the old Leo ring on. But I do want all the item drops from the gold ring. The hawk ring, I don't think I need the hawk ring for right now. I'm dealing in fairly close quarters. Oh, and them charging forward counts as an attack. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that is part of their attack animation. Maybe? I honestly can't tell. But the old Leo ring is helping, and that's all that counts. And even when it isn't helping, we're still getting 1-hit kills on these guys. So this is actually... Sir, you missed the memo. More effective than what we were using. Okay, in deep water, it doesn't want to work. Gotcha. And I've got decent enough durability that I can get between bonfires. Keep eyes behind. behind me for guys flying in from the backfield. This, okay, all three of them noticed me at once. Cool. You guys are all really cool, I want you to know that. If I can find a good source of Titanite chunks, that seems to be my issue right now. I should grab my 2 scimitars and pull them up to +10. Mastodon Halberd +10 could be good, especially if people are saying 40 int, 40 intelligence. Sorry, 40 int, 40 faith. Lightning infused Mastodon Halberd hits like a truck, and that is where we're ending up already. I don't remember. I don't know if this is run 2 or run 3 of the 5 that I needed, which is actually the 6 that I need because 5 despawned a dude, and then I died between killing him and getting to the bonfire. But at the same time, because I died, I don't think it matters what number I'm on, because I know that there is one more when stuff starts to despawn. And I just look over, just to pause for a second. As I'm walking down the stairs here, I do a quick check to see if those guys are alive. And that tells me, is there one or is there more than one? Forgot to rest at the bonfire. Going back up. I really want to beat this area today. So I hope I despawn these guys soon, because that'll make the walk to the boss a whole lot easier. When we do despawn these guys, it will be time for a chip break. So I will call that out when that happens. Right, one of the things to pair with the old Leo ring is the stone ring. Try and break their poise with the rapier stab, so you don't end up trading blows. Also, this thing doesn't like huge elevation differences. That's one of the problems I'm running into. Making the choice to kill the singer early on has an unintended side effect that I was not ready for. This area has no ambient music if the singer's not alive. Which is real unfortunate. You just kind of have the sound of air blowing through the cave. Hopefully, this is the last time. Because we know when there's a partial despawn that it is the final spawn for these enemies, we don't need to use homeward to go back to the previous bonfire. We can just go straight to this one. So hopefully we're there. Because making a push onto the boss from here is not difficult. Nope, not there. For my own sanity, I'm going to stab this man and reset and see how many loops are left. As the enemies get further away from the bonfire, I am less inclined to stab the first enemy I see and check how many spawns are left. And I just go through the entire thing. This is about as far as I'm willing to traverse to check. Okay, this is 2 left. This loop starts the despawning, and next loop ends it. Those are acceptable terms. I can deal with that. I think reaching the next area unlocks the expanded store of the upgrade mat seller, the rock keeper, the geologist. Whatever you want to call it. So, pushing through here, defeating the boss, and then pushing a little bit further into the next area is probably the best bet. Hey Pat, how you doing? So as soon as we clear out this area and reach the next bonfire, we will definitely just push through to the next zone. None of that. Stale popcorn sounds just real depressing. Like, popcorn for lunch, okay, is what it is. Not super exciting, but it's empty calorie enough to get you through to dinner. Stale popcorn just sounds depressing. But just getting you through to dinner is what you're counting on? I have no clue what I'm doing for dinner tonight. Probably beef ravioli. I forgot to take a protein out last night. So. And we don't have meatballs. I was gonna make meatball subs, but we don't have meatballs. And then I was like, well, I can just... We have panko, we have eggs, we have cheese. I could make meatballs. Just the main reason it hasn't gone on the list, because I could just make them. But we had burgers last night. So that would be... And I'm not solving this by saying ravioli, because it's beef ravioli. It would be 2 beef dishes in a row. Yeah, we don't need anything, because I'm the one buying. That's why we never need anything. I cook with what limited ingredients I have because I don't have money to buy other ingredients. I don't like that that man was on a different spawn pattern. Probably because I walked down here and killed that man to... Yep. So what happened was when we reached here the first time, that guy and that guy were killed so I could pick up the item down there. So my cycle count was off by 1. Now, is that 95% you've done the levels and are working on the open world, or you've done the open world and are working on the levels? Because one of those grinds is significantly worse than the other. Yeah, they tried to do too much with the levels in the Skywalker saga for LEGO. Normally the open world is a bear, but looking over and seeing what Sister's working through, they tried to do too much. Like, I had no problem doing the levels in DC Supervillains. But the open world was just kind of a slog. I got real sloppy all this. That man lived on a dream. Yeah, Lego DC Supervillains was really good. This should be... I'm done, and I can just run through to the bonfire. But because that man killed me and I killed him, and he's still standing, I legitimately don't know. Where did you come from? You were all the way over there, and then suddenly you were attacking me from behind. I do appreciate that these swamp monsters drop human effigies. Oh, bleed is such a terrible status effect. The main issue with bleed, if you're not catching it, is it cuts your stamina in half. I mean, yeah, it does a large chunk of damage, and that's kind of awful. But it cuts your stamina in half. So did you end on the original trilogy because that's the one you prefer, or is that because it's the one you wanted to do the least? Was it a palate cleanser, or were you just putting it off? Prefer, so it's a palate cleanser. Okay, almost jumped off the stairwell there. You didn't hate doing any of it. I'm assuming that's what you meant to say. That's what we're looking for. We're looking on a stagger so we don't get hit there. I mean, you also went through episodes 7 through 9 going, I have no clue what any of this story is. So I'm sure that was a black mark against it. That was unnecessary. But we stab him anyway. Co-stab. I've seen 7, parts of 7, most of 7. There was a small detour in the middle of 7 where my dog bit open the back of my hand, so I had to go take care of that. And, you know, we just didn't pause the movie while that was going on. It was just I went into a different room and put my hand back together again and then came back. Probably should have gotten stitches for it, but you know, it's just a giant scar on the back of my hand now. Okay. I thought I was dead there. But I'll take that. So we're gonna ignore Dragon Rider. I don't think you can ignore the Ogre. I think he aggroes on you when you get close to him. So from the bonfire, I'm just gonna shoot him with 4 poison arrows and 3 standard arrows, and that should end the fight. Yeah, okay, cool. We can move the bonfire forward. All these enemies are dead. So as I said before, once we light this bonfire, we are going to take a quick pause to go grab a bag of chips. And YouTube, we'll be right back. So, we're going to eat the humanity. We're gonna Dark Souls hitbox real good. We're gonna Dark Souls hitbox at a distance. Good lord. That's too far to hit him. Okay. We'll circle back around to that idea in a second. Be very careful not to walk into the flower water, because the flower water has monsters in it. I'm short. I think I wasn't short. I think I got stuck on that rock. stop firing homing soul darts, please? Thank you. They're just mildly inconvenient at this point. Okay, so we need to go around this way. Also, make sure that this is ground. No, there's two enemies there ready to pounce on you. I was gonna say, I should be able just to rush in and attack her, but she has an entourage. Nope, absolutely not. So what we learned earlier is that still hits you. Okay. That's not what we learned earlier. And then 1, 2, 3. There's one of those crawling dudes right in front of him, and he can't push him out of the way. Oh, he did. He figured it out. Soul of a brave warrior. That sounds like a backhanded insult right there. We're not going to fight everything to keep it all in the same spawn cycle. We're just going to press through to the boss. Because that is my goal right now. I just want to fight the boss here. This raised walkway gets me every time. You know, you could just mute it. It's the first thing I did. We're launching into this one halfway around the world. Almost walked off the edge there. That would have been real bad. It's an international flight. Let him have 2 check bags. Who cares? This is the boss singing. But it's something. It's background noise. No, I walked over the summon sign to see who it was. It's not a character we're interested in. As I said, I don't find this boss to be particularly difficult. No, I was just making sure it wasn't like Banheart of Jago or Lucatail of Mara. Because I don't remember what Lucatail of Mara's last summon is. I know where we find her again. But there are several bosses between here and there. But if you just stand over a summon sign, it shows you what the character looks like. Kind of to help you gauge who you want to be your summon for a boss fight when there are a bunch of character signs down. Just so you don't accidentally pick up, you know, a meme character. Because once you summon someone, the entire world gets harder. They gain more damage resist, they gain more health. Homing Crystal Soul Mass from this area? Couldn't be. Who would have thought? Homing magic attack you would get from this area where everyone fires homing soul dart. Soul of a Brave Warrior. Stick. Red Iron Twin Blade's actually really good. The heck is that over there? Mean is what that is. Okay. It's dangerous to fight her up close, so just bop her with an arrow. I'm not a big fan of you invading here. Oh, you're a hexer and a caster. Cool. Cool. That was a mean hex you just threw out there. Just stand around this corner. That was the equivalent of Pebble from Elden Ring. Cast something, I dare you. That is the power of animation lock. As soon as they decide to cast, they're locked in. You just pop them with an arrow. And it deals enough damage to knock them out of it. And they start over again. Hey, so I killed your friend. I'm glad we had that conversation. I think she also stole some of my health. The clutch ring makes it so I take more damage. Are you guys prepared for my favorite boss design in this entire game? They frog. And much like Freya, 90% of their body is immune to damage. Oh my god. I forgot that attack had like 4 follow-ups. Much like Freya, you can just fight this boss by dinking them with arrows until they die. Oh, you know what? Now's a great time to bring back... What if we just use 2 sticks? That is the end of the segment. What if we just use 2 sticks? That should hit. What did that... What piece of geometry did I hit? Okay then. You know how that new King Kong game just came out? Jesus Christ, I had a stroke there. And it was real peak. Game design is my passion. You know, Dark Souls is peak. Geometry is my passion. I mean, what are shapes, really? Because they are clearly not the things we're looking at right now. One, 2, 3, 4, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we just wait him out. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and this is gonna need 4. Big Man also acquired the taste for flesh. Had to be put down. We're no better than a rogue crocodile. Oh, okay, that last one was generous. One-eyed Shrek kill on sight. These two fedora-wearing white knights coming at me for attacking their lady. Why did you not stagger? Okay, yeah. If I had fired that fourth arrow, I definitely wouldn't have killed because the arrow just would have went wide. Oh, we're stocking up on life gems again. Good thing we're not running low on those. For those playing along at home, the orange cloud is not Gamer Musk, it is Corrosion. Which I guess Corrosion could be considered Gamer Musk. In which case, carry on. Okay, the third arrow was in case I got body blocked. There was really no reason to shoot her 3 times. She only has 600 health. If you guys are gonna just let me get off my attacks without consequence, I'm going to kill that person. And I'm going to walk over here. I don't see her. Speaking of being a bozo with infinite arrows rolling up and attacking Shrek, I am running out of arrows. Oh, the 1, 2, 3. I thought I was out of range. Rip all of those souls in the boss arena. I thought I was free. Actually, my arm's starting to bother me and we're coming up on 3 hours. And I did not, restart the recording. Cool. So I'm gonna have to download this from Twitch and, do some editing. So I think I'm actually gonna call it here. And, get to work on that fixing. Damn. Oh well. Happens. So, why not even fix it? I'll just run it from Twitch to YouTube and put in the description. what happened. Okay. So, Twitch, I will get this farmed out and us moved up to the bonfire before the boss. So next stream we can start by beating the boss and moving on to the next area. The next stream being Friday. Thursday's stream will, of course, be Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels of the Rose. And I still have to get that set up, too. So yeah, I got a little bit of work ahead of me. Okay. Have a good evening, Twitch. Have a good evening, YouTube. And I will see you guys on the next one.